At 22 years old, Anthony Edwards is already one of the most interesting young players in the league, and it's only going to continue to grow from here. The legend of Anthony Edwards is about to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's no surprise. He's Michael Jordan's son. If you can't see that resemblance, I don't know, I don't know how you can't. It's crazy. MJ, he's definitely got a few kids in the NBA, Jimmy Butler being the most obvious one, but Anthony Edwards was right there. So today we're looking at where Ant stacks up against all-time shooting guards and against the current shooting guards, the current best shooting guards in the NBA, as well as talking a little bit about his summer adventures. He's one of the most interesting players in the league right now. So make sure you stick around for the full video. We will also be talking about how good the Timberwolves can be this year. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment down below. Now, let's go ahead and get started looking at Ant's adventure out to the U.S. national team in the FIBA World Cup, where, of course, the U.S. came in fourth, which is not good at all. But basically, during this whole thing, he told Steve Kerr, when Kerr told him to come off the bench, "We don't have a Kobe Bryant. Give me the ball." That's not exactly what he said, but he was not cool with coming off the bench. He ended up averaging 19 points a game in only 26 minutes and led the team in scoring. So I think that's a pretty good job there by Ant, letting Steve Kerr know. Apparently he didn't know, but now he does. 48% from the field for Ant, 4.6 rebounds, 1 steal, and about 31% from three. Not great there. The three-point shooting still needs to get a little bit better, but couldn't even get bronze. I mean, come on. The modern Team USA, yes, it is like a proving ground for young guys to, show that, hey, we can be the number one option. And Ant showed that. He was all World Cup team, I guess is how you pronounce it. First team all World Cup. But let's take a look at how good he really is. Compared to the consensus top 3 shooting guards in today's league, D-Book, Donovan Mitchell, and Jalen Brown. Let's start off with the Donovan Mitchell comparison. And yes, I have highlighted Don's third year in the league. Donovan Mitchell averaged 28 points this year, which is pretty dang good on 48-39 shooting splits. Ant averaged about 25 on 46-37 shooting splits, but then you take a look at that highlighted year, and Ant is a little bit better in every single category, and Ant is also 2 years younger in his third year in the league. Let's take a look at Jalen Brown compared to Anthony Edwards. I mean, they were about the same this year, to be honest. JB averaged a couple more points, one more rebound, one less assist. Efficiency, JB was a little bit more efficient from the field, less than from three. But again, in his third year in the league, where he was still a year older than Ant, he was only averaging 13 points a game. He was still proving himself as a worthy role player in that Celtics offense. Now, taking a look at Book compared to Anthony Edwards. In Book's third year, almost the same. Ant has more rebounds. Ant was also much more efficient from the field, not so much so from three. They're about the same there. And then, modern day Book is one of the most efficient players in the league. 28 points a game on almost 50% shooting, 35% from the field. So, yeah, there's Ant compared to the top 3 shooting guards in the league. I've got him at number 4 right now, but I think with the big season, he can crack that top 3, maybe even top 2. Could he be an all-time great, though? Let's take a look at where he compares to some of the legendary players to have played the shooting guard position. Starting off with, of course, his father, Michael Jordan, who was just a different monster. MJ averaged more points his rookie year than Ant has averaged in his third, both at the age of 21. So, yeah, there's only one MJ. The only thing that Ant can say he has over Jordan was his three-point percentage, for obvious reasons. I mean, by his third year in the league, Jordan was averaging 37 a night and played 40 minutes a game, which is absurd. That's otherworldly. Now let's talk about Kobe. In Kobe's age 21 season, he put up 22.5 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 4.9 assists. This was also his 4th year in the league. If you look at Kobe's 3rd year in the league, where he only averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, compared to Ant's season this year, where he averaged 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. Hey, Ant is looking pretty good when it comes to shaping up with Kobe. all time. Now, of course, he doesn't have a Shaquille O'Neal. The Timberwolves are doing some interesting things there at the center spot. But he should have some added motivation because of his rough Game 5. But this year in the playoffs, Ant was pretty good. 13 for 27 Game 1, not great efficiency. But that 14 for 23 game where he was 6 for 10 from 3 and dropped 41, that's the game we're looking at here. He also dropped 30 plus 2 more times in that series, and I think he had 29 one game. So he was really good. Really gave the Nuggets all they wanted. Almost took them to 6 games, which was the furthest that anybody took them. And then you look at the Timberwolves this year, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on the Twin Towers. I'm not sold on the starting lineup. I like Anthony Edwards. I like Jaden McDaniels. I like those guys a lot. Karl Anthony Towns. But Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert are really, really bad weak points in this lineup. Mike Conley, I'm fine with. Okay, Mike Conley's fine. They should have just kept Walker Kessler instead of trading everybody to Utah, because then you still have Jared Vanderbilt. You still have all those picks. Who was that pick this year? I believe it was Keontae George, right? So then you still have all of those guys that you traded away, plus Anthony Edwards, plus Karl Anthony Towns, plus Jaden McDaniels. The 2 through 4 I like in this lineup, but, and like I said, Conley is serviceable. I just don't like the Rudy Gobert situation because I think you were much better off just keeping Walker Kessler. When it comes to the bench, it is a solid group. Shake Milton, very nice backup point guard, had a really good year in Philadelphia last year. He's going to come in and play very well. Wendell Moore, I expect to take a huge leap forward in his second year, of course, out of Duke. I think he's going to be a much, much improved player. Kyle Sloan Anderson, another guy there. He's just solid, about 8-9 points a game, 4 or 5 rebounds. Leonard Miller, the rookie, I'm excited to see what he does because, we've seen him in the G League. He's just really good at filling lanes. He's very athletic, 6'11". He can guard really the 1 through 5 with the way he moves his feet. And then you got Naz Reid, who you just gave a big long-term extension to at the backup center spot. So a very exciting, bench group. I'm really excited to see how this group gels. It's definitely not the best bench in the world, but, maybe they improve it at the trade deadline. You also got Jalen Clark, the rookie out of UCLA. I believe the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. So he was really good last year at UCLA, maybe a sleeper. Now, I want to hear y'all's thoughts, so right now, go down in the comment section. What are we thinking about this Timberwolves team? I think Ant, personally, is going to take a big leap. This is my take of the video. Ant becomes a top 2 shooting guard in the league next year behind Booker. I think he surpasses Donovan Mitchell. I think he surpasses Jalen Brown as the number 1 option in Minnesota and leads them to the playoffs. I think if Ant has the year that he should have, in my opinion, he's going to be 22 years old. He's got fresh legs. He's going to play as much as he can unless he gets, we hope he doesn't get an injury. But I think Anthony Edwards really takes a leap. Like I said, top 2 shooting guard in the league, maybe even a top 10 player in the league. And I think he drags this Minnesota squad with him to the playoffs. Now, of course, he's going to have help in the form of Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns. And even though I kind of trashed on Rudy Gobert earlier, he's still a very solid center, just not for $45 million. Mike Conley, like I said, serviceable point guard. So they have a good enough team here to make the playoffs. We saw that last year with what they did against the Denver Nuggets. So yeah, that's my take of the video. I think Anthony Edwards has a great year. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Would love to have, not really an argument, but a debate or a conversation down in the comments below. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy this video at any point. Obviously, if you're still here, you enjoyed something. So go ahead and hit that. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.